Maura, I'm coming to you in a moment. Dave, if you will, though, you did mention precedent here when it comes to presidential immunity. Expand on that, if you will, for our audience.
There is some presidential immunity when it comes to civil lawsuits. We've seen that. But when it comes to criminality, this is uncharted territory. We've never had a president like Donald Trump before. Donald Trump wants to be immune from any criminal activity he did while he was president. He said it's all in his role as president. But of course, that's just not true. No one is above the law. And it works both ways. If the Supreme Court gives Donald Trump absolute presidential immunity, then what's to stop Joe Biden from arresting Trump, canceling the election, and then saying, hey, I'm immune, I'm a king, I can do whatever I want. So it's not so funny when the other guy does it to you. So Maura, the president has been staying out of kind of political fray and speaking on the former president's legal troubles, especially as it seems as if more and more he's going to be running against him in 2024. He was, though, asked about presidential immunity and should former presidents be free from criminal prosecution. And he did comment on it. I want to play for you that sound, and then we'll talk.
Mr. President, do you think that a president, any president, is absolutely immune from criminal prosecution? Any president or not? I can't think of one.
What do you make of that? Brief, but certainly to the point.
He's trying not to get involved, and I think that's the smart move to make here, because, again, to the point we're talking about is that this all does feel political for a lot of people in this country. And it's really important to remind folks that this is about the Constitution, and we should be leaving this up to the courts, which are a nonpartisan branch of our government. And it's important that we would let it run through in that way. But, I think to what the President Biden said, again, this is a scenario in which we haven't been before. And I think that we, the people, should be the ones that are saying no to this, that we're rejecting this idea of a former president who tried to overturn or stop the peaceful transfer of power from becoming president again. That should be left up to us, in my opinion. But again, it will come down to the courts, and to make sure that that doesn't look political or have any implications of being, targeted to Trump. Because the question that a lot of people have is, would all these court cases be coming up against him if he wasn't running for president again?
Well, so that's interesting. I'm glad that you brought that point up, because if that, in fact, is the question as to whether or not these cases, these trials, these charges, these indictments would be happening if he were not running for re-election, would that not make them then political trials? Would that not make them then political indictments? What do you make of that argument?
So I think we're seeing it play out. Trump has obviously capitalized on this, and he has made them all political, no matter what the substance of those charges are. So I think that's also hard because, as we've learned since well before 2016, he can control the narrative, and he, regardless of facts, he controls the narrative in that way, where he says that no matter what is presented against him, it's political in nature. It's a witch hunt. They're out to get him. And we saw that with his social truth post about Jack Smith and also Merry Christmas. That kind of stuff, that's what he is going to continue to do and play the victim. But the unfortunate part is that there are a lot of people in this country who do feel as though they don't trust the government. They don't trust the system. And making the point that this is about the Supreme Court and about constitutionality, that's what's going to be key here. Messaging is key.